Hello and welcome. In this video we'll go over the basics of link roles and link role rules. Link roles show up in this combo box when you're linking one work item to another. Link roles are in effect the semantics of your traceability. That may sound complicated, but it isn't really. The link roles simply describe how two linked work items are related to each other. For example, when a task implements a requirement, the link role from task to requirement is implements, which tells the whole story right there. If someone looks at the requirement, they can see the task is linked, and in that direction the link role says is implemented by. Of course, there might be multiple tasks which implement one requirement. Behind the scenes, we also have link role rules. These help guarantee that your traceability makes sense. For example, you probably wouldn't have a requirement that verifies a task. So you would set up a rule that prevents anyone from ever applying the verifies link role between those two types. Now I know the feature always sounds kind of technical to me, but conceptually it's pretty simple once you see it. The real power of link roles and link role rules is twofold. First of all, Polarion comes with project templates that have pre-configured link roles and link role rules, which makes sense for a lot of projects. So there's a very good chance that you'll be able to hit the ground running and never look back. And the project templates will provide all the traceability semantics you'll ever need. If the templates don't provide the traceability semantics you need, you can customize both the link roles and the link role rules, either one-off in a single project or in a custom project template that will provide exactly what you require for all your projects. So let's take a look at the customization. Whether you do it for one project or for a project template, the process is the same. You can view and edit link roles and link role rules in Administration, Work Items, Enumerations. The settings are in the work item link role enum XML config file. And when I open that in the GUI editor, we can see the default link roles. Here you can add new roles or change the wording or delete existing roles. We're looking at the global administration for the repository right now, and this is where you can define the system-wide defaults. If I select the implements link role, we can see there's a rule defined for it. This rule says that the link role of implements can exist from either a task or a defect to a requirement. If I select verifies, the rule there says that a verifies link can only exist from a test case to a requirement. Let's see now how that works for the end user. Here in a sample project, we're looking at the test cases. If we take a look at the linked work items section, we see this one is linked with the verifies link role to a user story, which is the equivalent of a requirement in this Agile project. If I edit the link, we can see that the only link role options are verifies and relates to. This is the link role rules in action. Because of the rules configured for this project, there's simply no way any user could accidentally specify the has parent or the duplicates link role from this test case to the user story, which would make nonsensical hash of the project's traceability. The takeaway here is if you need to achieve compliance with standards or regulations, spend some time getting your link role rules right. This is a classic case of where an ounce of prevention is worth several pounds of cure. So far, we've seen link roles that would work for software development projects. But as I show you the hands-on process for customizing link roles and rules, I'm going to show you a radically different example just to illustrate that you can use Polarion to manage just about any kind of application. Now, I kind of like coffee, so my example project deals with brewing it. Before we can specify link roles, though, we need to know about the work item types. Here's my custom project configuration for that. Notice I have a type brew process and several other types which represent various kinds of coffee beverages, and one non-coffee type, namely tea. We can imagine that items of these beverage types might link in various ways to items of the brew process type. This is pretty trivial, but brew process could just as easily be aircraft brake assembly, and the coffees could represent various aircraft brake assembly components. So let's look now at the link roles and rules. I'll now open up the work item link roles configuration for this project in the GUI editor. And we can see I've already defined 3 link roles. Let's look closely at this first one. Now this is where we get into the semantics of our project traceability. My first link role is brews. That describes the relationship between a brew process item and a coffee beverage type item. Notice the concept of name and opposite name. Name is the semantic of the outgoing link. So if I'm editing a brew process type item titled Italian Steam, I can link it to double espresso, an espresso type item, using the brews link role. That gives us a traceability semantic Italian Steam brews double espresso. Opposite name comes into play if I look at the double espresso item. I'll see it linked to the Italian Steam item with the opposite name. So the backlink semantic is expressed as double espresso is brewed by Italian Steam. We'll see this applied for the end user in the portal in a little while. Let's look next at the link role rules. For my brews link role, we can see I already defined a rule. It says that the link with the brews role can exist from a brew process type item to any of the beverage type items. It's a pretty simple rule, actually, from one work item type to multiple types. It could be from multiple types to a single type, or multiple types to multiple types. There could also be multiple rules for a single link role. You can get very intricate with this, which you might need to do if some type of compliance is at stake. But let's keep it simple for now so you can better follow the basic concept. I'll now define a rule for the derive link role. Cappuccino can be derived from espresso, so I'll say that this role can exist from the espresso type to the cappuccino type. Now it's conceivable that a brew process might be derived from another brew process, so I'll create a second rule saying that a link can exist from a brew process type item to an item of that same type. So before we wrap up, let's take a look at how these link roles and rules pan out for the end user in the Polarion portal. Here's the work items topic in my project with a few items already created. Here's a brew process item titled Italian Steam. Let's create a link to an espresso type item. Notice my only options are the 2 link roles allowed by the link role rules configuration we just saw. The rule didn't include the relates to link role, so there's no way I can select that invalid link role. So I'll save this item, and now I've created a link in this brew process type that says it brews an espresso type item. Now if I go and look at the double espresso item, we can see that it's linked from the Italian Steam item with the opposite name we saw in the configuration. So double espresso is brewed by Italian Steam. If you remember the other link role we saw, derive, I can apply it here to set up a link that says double espresso has a derivative, large cappuccino. I'll save that. Then if I go to large cappuccino, we see it backlinked. Large cappuccino is derived from double espresso. Semantics of your traceability, quite clear. That's it for this tutorial, and we hope you find it useful. Let us know your thoughts on the form below or write us at info@polarion.com.